Is brought to you by Gasim Cement, your nation builder. Is also brought to you by Vodafone. In the last few days, prominent voices, some within government and the governing party, are coming forward, raising alarm about the involvement of powerful partisan political players fueling the illegal mining menace. Tonight, we will hear from some of these voices, including Asantehino Tumfo Setutu II and Chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament, Kennedy Ejapon. But in the last 24 hours, we've also been learning of the destruction of excavators belonging to a company owned by the MPP National Women's Organizer. In fact, today she has written to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister with a formal complaint insisting that her firm was conducting legitimate business in this particular area. Now, at least 20 excavators and several mining equipment were set on fire by the military task force in a crackdown on illegal mining in the eastern region. 8 out of the number of excavators and one bulldozer destroyed allegedly belonged to the National Women's Organizer of the governing MPP, KJM4. And we now know that to be a fact because there is a statement that, in fact, a statement has been issued by the company plus a formal petition to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, which she herself had signed, complaining about the action of the military task force and also producing evidence to suggest that she was operating legally in the area when the task force raided the place. I want to bring in very shortly my colleague Kweku Asante, who has these documents. First, let's look at the petition that has been addressed and signed by KJM4, the MPP's women's organizer, who happens to be the general manager of this firm called Extra Gold Mining Limited. This is dated when?
This letter is dated 13th May 2021. That is 4 days back, and addressed to the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Minister. It reads, Extra Gold Mining Limited is the holder of 5 concessions, the leases in Eastern Region. Our company has conducted alluvial mining and exploration since 2006, and all our leases are in good standing. We are aware that the military has recently been sent out to destroy all illegal miners' equipment. We have enclosed a map outlining our leases with copies of our 2021 Mineral Commission mining operating permits. We would be grateful if you could provide our map and permits to the commander leading the military operations so they know we are legally registered company. So this letter is addressed to this minister, urging him to send this map so that the military does not keep on destroying their properties.
Now, they've also been providing what they believe to be evidence to support their case. In fact, one of them is titled, it's on the Minerals Commission's letterhead. It's called the Mining Exploration and Operating Permit. And this document talks about the license is hereby granted to one Konedu Samuel Asare of Extra Gold to prospect in the Ibwakwa South Municipality District within the area described in endorsement hereon by the District Coordinating Director, right? And then there are conditions. The prospect outside the district described above is not permitted except by the issue of a further prospecting license. And there's a question about where they were operating right now, whether that met this particular condition. And second, to prospect outside the area described in the endorsement in another area in the same district may be permitted upon the cancellation of the endorsement and a new endorsement being made. But the most important point, I guess, here is that this particular permit expires the first day of December 2021. So a few months yet before it expires. But there's another document they've also provided, which is the mining operating permit. What does that one say?
So this mining operating permit addressed to, it says, its permission is hereby granted to Extra Gold Mining Limited, his servants and agents to carry on mining on land comprised within the following limits, as specified in the schedule to the mining lease, number LVD 1895/2011, situated at Banso in the Etiwa district of the Eastern Region. The fee paid was 44,760 cedis, and here again the permit expires unless previously reviewed on 31st day of December 2021.
So that is That is what their contention is
Yeah.
tonight. That in essence, that this is legitimate mining that they were doing in that particular area. Here's the secretary to this particular mine. It's the secretary to Kijinfua mining firm, which has been the excavators have been destroyed. Has been speaking about her contribution to the party, and suggesting that the raid on her mining firm was unwarranted, not only because they believe they have the permit to operate, but because she is the women's organizer of the party. Listen to the secretary to the mining firm who was speaking in the area at the time when the military had invaded. He's Nana Asante.
Say women organizer site. Yes, and site.
Indeed, this site belongs to the women's organizer of the NPP. Just go around and see the work we are doing here. Some soldiers were here earlier and they inspected our work. They realized we had done a good job and covered all the pits. We are all members of the party. There's no job anywhere. This is how we all survive.
2016, 2020, campaign. After the ban saying,
She contributed to the campaign in 2016 and 2020. There are other sites here, but why this very one? And this is not illegal mining. She has documents to prove it.
People say that's why you're mining.
So that's a secretary there, Nana Asante, of course, speaking to the issues. But we've, of course, been working the phone lines to get some clarity from the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry on this petition that had been sent to them by Kijinfua, who's the women's organizer. We'll tell you shortly what the ministry may or may not do on it. But this all comes in the broader affairs of in the last few days. Several key prominent voices speaking on the issue of allegations of some individuals, either in the party or in government, who are part or maybe fueling the galamsey themselves. We'll be playing a few of these voices shortly and getting a sense of what may happen here on Top Story. We'll also be hearing from Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee, because guess who has been speaking on this? The chairman of that committee, Kennedy Ejapon, I think Central Member of Parliament, has on his own network, Net2, been challenging the president to look within his own ranks, either in party or in government, to cleanse itself first. Other than that, he will fail in the fight against illegal mining.
President Akufo-Addo fight if he doesn't clean his own house. If President Akufo-Addo doesn't clean his own house,
I pity President Akufo-Addo because for this fight, if the president doesn't clean his house, we will not win. Because if you see the number of top NPP officials involved in Galamsey, I fought them thinking I was helping President Akufo-Addo, but I lost.
President Akufo-Addo, I am telling you, if you don't shake your own people,
they have to burn the excavators, or some will go and sell them in Cote d'Ivoire. I know a lot of MCs who are involved. President Akufo-Addo, you have to clean your house first.
And the politicians, you know, Entina and Kolano, so with impunity. This one, me Macau, Obiaso by a fee, MPP.
The NDC are also involved. If anyone challenges me, I will mention names because they are sabotaging the president.
So that is Kennedy Ejapon. He's MP for Asin Central, but he's also the chairman of the Defence and Interior Committee in Parliament. And you cannot take what he says for granted on this particular matter, challenging his own, the president to look within his own ranks. But then, of course, last week, we actually also heard from the Ashanti Regional Minister, who, by the way, is also the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Security Council, who was emphatic that government officials involved in illegal mining themselves must receive the highest form of sanction.
My colleague government appointees, we have to lead the fight. And I think any government appointee who is found engaging in illegal mining must be dealt with the highest level of sanctions. We cannot go against the principles of the president, and we cannot go against the policies of the president, and we cannot go against the policies of our own government. It's time we name and shame. If Evans Mensah is found in the practice of illegal mining, he should be named and shamed. If we take the lead, I'm sure we will definitely succeed in the fight against illegal mining.
So that is Simon Osei Mensah. He is the Ashanti Regional Minister just last week. But as you heard Kennedy Pond say, the people within the party are known. They're all known. He claims to have a list of the people. I mean, Simon Osei Mensah himself, does he know anybody that he can name and shame himself on this particular matter? This is one of those running conversations has been put out in the public domain by the chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee. In fact, at that same forum where Simon Osei Mensah spoke last week, Otumfuo Osei II himself, just before he read his speech, also said something pretty profound that close to half of the people in the room, and this was a conference to dialogue on how to end illegal mining. He says close to half of the people in the room, they know those involved, those fueling the illegal mining menace, and that until, as a country, we are honest with ourselves, there's no way we're going to win the fight.
Answer making time, Master before I read my speech,
Before I read my speech, let me say one or two things. The regional minister and the minister for lands and natural resources came to me and asked me to stick to the written script and not say anything else.
So, and this I know me say be a mechanism fufrobia air kakra. So, so. As I said, no crane me catch it almost say, Galamse ya ye can, you know, them have me chimu, ye chimu, send me you are nature me and son.
But truthfully, when it comes to these Galamsey matters, 30% of us know the people involved in Galamsey. And if we don't speak the truth, we will organize conferences like this and nothing will happen.
30% and not any moment ye Galamsey. So now ya kano krenwa ye be dada ye ho ye be conference ya be ha.
So that is Otumfuo Osei II himself throwing out a challenge to everybody else in the room, and almost everybody else from Parliament, at the executive level, and the police, the military had representation in that room, and he was referring to all of them, including chiefs, by the way. And he said 30% of the people in the room, they know those who are fueling the illegal mining trade. Well, we understand that on the issue regarding the MPP's women's organizer and the mining excavators that were destroyed, the ministry has, of course, received that petition, and they are considering it. Their lawyers are reviewing the petition. And once we get clarity on what their action will be, we'll get that to you. But joining me on the telephone line right now, we've heard from the chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee challenging the president to, cleanse his own ranks when it comes to those within government and the party who may be fueling the illegal mining menace. Joining us right now is a ranking member on that same committee, Mr. James Agaga. Mr. Agaga, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Good evening, Evans.
Also joining me for the very latest on this MPP Women's Organizers company, and we know their excavators were destroyed over the weekend, is the secretary to the Kejimfoa, Nana Asante, also joined me. I just want to get quick clarity on what has happened since that petition went to the ministry. Nana, thank you for joining us on Top Story.
You're welcome, boss.
Yes. So you sent the petition to the ministry. Have you heard from the ministry yet?
Not yet.
For you claim that you were operating legally.
Yes.
What was the place you were operating? Was it in a forest reserve? Was it close to water?
Okay, thank you very much. Greetings to all your listeners. It wasn't close to the river and it wasn't close to the forest. It was far from the two I've just mentioned.
When the military guys came, were you there? Did you show them the evidence you've put out today, claiming that it's a permit you have from the Minerals Commission?
Okay. Initially, they came last 2 weeks. Last week they came. They came around and we showed them to the place. We showed them all the work we are doing, the legal way that we are mining in that area. So they even applauded us and said we are doing a good job. We should keep it up because actually we are not destroying water and we are not destroying forest. So it was a nice job. Then they appreciated us and they left. Yesterday was I was there as our Sanchez and our teams would say. So we weren't at the site. We went for a program. One of our colleagues was getting married yesterday, so we all went. It left only the security guy. So the security guy called me on phone and said some military men have invaded the place. So they asked whose site was that, and they said it was for the women organizer. And they asked the security guy to call the women organizer for them to speak with. But initially, the security guy was not having the number at that moment. So he called me, and I called my director, and we all came to the place. And when I met them on the way coming. So at the time we get to the site, they have finished doing the operation.
Madam K. Jemfoa, is she in town herself?
Yeah, she's in town.
Has she been to the site? Has she seen the destruction?
Yesterday, he said I encouraged to inspect what has happened.
Okay. What has been her reaction to this? I heard you say that what has happened to her is unfair because of her contribution to the party.
Yeah, it is very unfair because we are all Ghanaians. And I was saying that if a driver is driving a vehicle and the police apprehended the driver for not having license, the police is right? But in the case where the driver is having a license and he's supposed to drive and so the police arrest the driver for not having license, then there's something must be wrong somewhere. Because we have our documents which encourage us or which permit us to work or to mine or to do mining, and it's not galamsey or small scale mining. It's a very big company. So in case you come around and you want to see, you want to take an action, you have to wait for us to show you around. Because when they came last 2 weeks, we showed them around. There is nothing, no charge that they can use to deflate us from not mining. There's no charge. There is not even a single charge because everything, whatever we are doing is in place. And we are being controlled by EPA come around, NADBO come around, forestry come around, police come around to inspect our daily activities. They all come, every day in day out, they come around to inspect our activities. So it's not that we are hot and club in our one area and doing, let me say, unscrupulous things. Yes, all what we are doing is in place.
But Nana, you say the military guys came the first time, went and came back after a few weeks, correct?
Yes.
But that means they must have been told or seen evidence to suggest that you were operating illegally. They wouldn't simply have come the first time and not touch you and return and destroy your equipment this time round.
Please, that's what I was saying, that we are being coached by EPA, NADMO, everything, and the police. They always come around, especially the forestry guys. And I can tell you, there's not even a single thing that we are doing which is illegal. When they came around, I learned the country, the government said we shouldn't mine close to the river bodies, and we shouldn't destroy the forest. Yes. And where the river is very far from where we are mining. Secondly, where the forest is very far from where we are mining. We dig the pit and we fill it again. We don't use the water or the stream that is passing there to wash to do our activities. We have our own dams. We have created dams, about 5 dams. We have our well that we take water from. So there is nothing that shows that we are doing or we are causing havoc to the environment. No. The pit that we fill, after we have filled, we used to plant cassava and so many things on it. Your guys came, multimedia came yesterday. We showed them the place. We took them around and we asked them that they should take a look at what we are doing here. If it is not the best way, they should tell us. They were all standing there and they said, no, it is unfair.
Have you so you're hoping from the letter that we've read that the excavators have already been destroyed. So what's the point of writing to the ministry now? You want them to what?
I want
Reinstate?
the ministry to bring an end to it. So we take them around. They've bent about 9 of our machines. So I want the ministry to come and witness it themselves. Whatever we are doing there is on record. So I want them to come and inspect our activities there. If we have done the wrong thing, they should tell us. But if we have not done the wrong thing and we are doing the right thing, why should they burn our machines? Because they came, they didn't inspect anything. They just ransacked. They did it to the extent of what? Beating the security guy, ransacking our office, took all our papers, hung them around, destroying the place here and there. Even to the extent of our drinks in the fridge, they took the drinks and drink all of them.
Did they identify themselves as members of the Presidential Task Force Operation Halt?
They just came. Hey, everybody, get down. Then they let the security guy lie down, beating them, booting them here and there.
Did they identify themselves as Operation Halt?
No.
Okay.
No, as I was saying, nobody was around. It was there.
So none of you saw them. Okay.
Yeah.
Nana, thank you very much. So that's the view from the mining company in question, belonging to the MPP women's organizer. I still have with me Mr. James Gaga. Mr. Gaga, so thanks for your patience in holding on as we get some clarity on this unfolding matter. Your chairman is public now, asking the president to cleanse his own ranks because he believes that the president cannot win the fight unless he deals with the people around him. We've heard Otumfo makes a suggestion that the people who are leading this fight and those in a room to have a conversation, they know that those behind it. And I know during your time when your good friend Inusa Fuseni was also leading the fight, there was also the same suggestion that leading political figures were fueling the illegal mining menace. Your reaction to all that has been unfolding from the perspective of the Defense and Interior Committee?
Well, Evans, thank you. First of all, it's important for us to remember that at the commencement of the tenure of office of President Akufo-Addo, he had actually put his presidency on the line in the event that President Akufo-Addo, were to fail in the Galamsey fight. Now, his very first attempt to deal with the Galamsey menace failed woefully. I mean, the Operation Vanguard, Operation Galamstop, I mean, these operations were botched operations. Now, there are some renewed attempts by President Akufo-Addo at the very beginning of his second term in office to deal with the problem of Galamsey once again. Now, in his quest to do so, very important revelations have been made. I mean, like you recounted how the chairman of my committee in Parliament, the Defense and Interior Committee, clearly stated that President Akufo-Addo needs to embark upon a house cleaning exercise if he is to succeed in his fight against Galamsey. Then the regional minister, Asante region, also spoke. I think what the regional minister said largely was a confirmation of what my chairman had to say, and with respect to the attempts by certain individuals within the MPP government to sabotage the president's fight against Galamsey. His Majesty the Asante Hene also spoke. So, Evans, if you put all these revelations together, clearly you would understand why the president was unable to succeed in his fight against Galamsey for the very first time when he launched the various operations to get rid of illegal mining with all its attendant pollution of water bodies in our country and the devastation that is caused to our forest reserves in this country. So my point is now the president knows the root causes of his initial failure. So now that he knows, at least he has been told, that the saboteurs are within, they are not coming from outside. The majority of them are within his own circles. So what would he do? Given the fact that he's the same president who once put his presidency on the line, Evans, I would expect him to crack the whip, to clean his house, like my chairman has indicated, without fear or favor. Look, it is worrying when I initially read the accounts about how the MPP women's organizer, Kate Voice, excavators were burnt at a mining site in the Etiwa area. Now we are hearing from his secretary, when he interviewed him a while ago, that they are in possession of a valid mining
and operating permit. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that is anything to go by, look. Yes, we it doesn't matter that she's the MPP women's organizer. Let's face facts. I mean, we should do justice to all manner of persons, regardless of their political color. And so I would wish that this matter is thoroughly investigated and that justice is done. Our attempt to deal with small illegal mining should not also form the basis for us to completely stop legal small-scale mining. We need to draw the line and distinguish properly between the two.
I mean, the problem of politicians being involved is a long-standing one that successive governments have to varying degrees failed to address. I recall very clearly when Inusa Fuseni, in fact, you were the Deputy Interior Minister then, also attended to do, same. You came up against same forces. What lessons from your time can be relevant today?
Well, Evans, during our time, when we took the decision, President Mahama formed a joint ministerial committee to fight Galamsey. We faced several hurdles. First of all, we repatriated, or if you like, sent back home over 5,000 Chinese who were engaged in illegal mining in our country. Now, the issue of party supporters getting involved in Galamsey activities, yes, it was an issue that we had to confront and deal with. It wasn't an easy task. But largely, I would say that what we needed to do, we did without fear or favor. Look, like it or not, all manner of persons would come your way. Some would even falsely pretend that they are staunch party supporters and financiers, and that on that basis, you should give them safe passage to engage in all manner of criminal activities. It is for you, the politician, to be firm and take a definite stance with respect to the issue that you want to deal with and get rid of.
Mr. James Agaga, thank you very much. That's the ranking on the Defense and Interior Committee, expecting a probing to this, the women's organizer, MPP women's organizer matter, but also asking for a probing to allegations that party officers and government officers may be involved in the illegal mining menace. News Night starts right now.